What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing okay. Hope you've had a good weekend, good bank holiday over here in England. So you're here for one reason and one reason only, and that is for an update on this new structure mechanic that is coming into EVE Online very soon. It looks like it's going to be released in a three phases. So the first one is the 8th of September. Second one is the 13th of October, and then the last one is in the 12th of January. So those are the three updates that are going to be looking at. Now, if you're wondering what this all means, I'll leave a link to the full patch notes in the description as always. Now, this has so much potential for so many different gameplays. And first of all, if you don't know what it is, basically they're going to add something called quantum cores to structures, to your citadels. So all the way from your small build, your medium-sized structures, all the way up to Keepstar, Satoyo, and whatnot. Now these are going to be absolutely integral for the structure. They will not function without them. So when you anchor another structure now, it goes through a 15-minute vulnerability phase to start with while it's preparing to anchor. Then it takes 24 hours to anchor. Once it's anchored, it then goes through another 15-minute repair timer. And then once it's done, once it's repaired, it's fully repaired, and that's it, you're ready to go. What CCP are introducing is once you've done all that and you've gone to the final phase, it will halt just before the repair timer, where you will then need to slide in. So if you're familiar with structures and whatnot, when you take control of the structure to access all the fuel bay, the ammo bay and whatnot, there's going to be another bay called the core room. I believe that's what it's called. Core room, yes, that's what it's called. And that's once it will not be able to repair online. The services will be offline. Everything will be offline. So there'll be no tethering to it. There'll be no services, no clone bays, no nothing while that's not in. And it will be in the last. Shields and armor will be gone. So if you're in low sec or null sec, someone can just come and blow it up straight away until you put that core in. So obviously you need to get that core in quick time. Now, these cores will be seeded at NPC stations. It doesn't look like there's any form of plans in the update for blueprints to be leaked. It looks like they're just going to be seeded in certain stations. Now, I'll be putting a picture up on the screen now, so if you want to have a look at where they're going to be, and there'll be buy orders and sell orders for these. So you can. We'll come into why there's buy orders in a minute. So I'll put a link, I'll put an image on the screen now so you can pause it and have a look, and if you need to, take note of where they're going to be. There's going to be certain NPC corporations that sell these, and that is it. It doesn't look like they're going to be manufactured or anything like that. They're just going to be seeded, a bit like the planetary planetary command centres. Now, the seeding of these quantum cores will begin on the 8th of September. In these NPC stations. So you'll be able to start buying them, preparing for the future, because until the 12th of January, all the structures you've got up at the minute will not need them. So they're seeding them early to give everyone plenty of time. It's like, 4 months to get ready to buy all the cores that they need for their structures, to put them in. As of the 12th of January, if you do not have one of these quantum cores in your structure, it will go offline, no services, no tether, nothing. So yeah, it won't. You won't be able to use that structure. So make sure you've got one. Now, new structures that are on the 13th of October. Any structure being anchored after that will need one of these cores as default. That's it. If you put a new structure up after the 13th of October, you will need one of these cores. So yeah, if you want to get one up before then and wait till January, do it quick. So 13th of October is the cut-off for putting a new core in. You have to put a new core in then. Now, the reasoning behind this is basically CCP's statement, why they've done this. They've put, in EVE, death is a serious matter. Many of the current efforts in EVE ecosystem are focused on the consequences of player actions and the stakes required to take them. It should mean something every time you place a structure and every time you destroy one. At the moment, that isn't always the case. Deploying structures haphazardly to bait opponents is often seen by many as a good strategy, because raising them all down can be unsatisfying and laborious. By placing the ante in the core of every structure in space, the amount of structure spam will be reduced. No, it won't. The incentive and reward for attacking structures will be increased, and the chance of both sides showing up to fight is also increased. Well, that's true. That segues nicely into my next piece. When a structure is destroyed, these cores will 100% drop. Every time they will drop. They're reusable. That's why there is buy orders for them. So certain NPC corps will have set buy orders. Now, obviously, there'll be buy orders in all the trade hubs for lower than what you can get at the NPC station, and then they just obviously go and sell them at the NPC station. Also, if you unanchor the structure with it in, it'll drop in a can along with any other fittings and everything like that. So you don't have to worry about, you don't have to unplug it before you unanchor it. It'll all end up in a little can that you can scoop at the same time as when it's unanchored. Once the core is installed though, just going back to what I said before about anchoring, once the core is installed, that is when the 15-minute repairs will start, and it will not start until you put the core in. And obviously, shield and armor is completely gone, and the hull is completely exposed, ready for a kill. So if you're in low sec or null sec, make sure you've got that core on standby. Now I'm just going to be putting on the screen the costs of all these cores. As you can see, they get pretty expensive. So your small structures that you'll commonly find around high sec, the Astra House, Athanor and Rataru, range... Astra House is 600 mil for a core, 700 mil for an Athanor, and 800 mil for a Rataru. But, quite nicely, 500 cubic meters. Not a problem. Fortizar is 4 billion, Tatara 3.5 billion, Asbel 3 billion, and they're 50,000 cubic meters. So you can get them in deep space transport in high sec. Fine, no problem. Now, Keepstar is 30 billion, and a Sotoyo is 10 billion. But they're 250,000 cubic meters. So that's either going to be a normal freighter or a jump freighter to get that in and out, which I 100% guarantee you, if you are fighting over the final timer on one of these in null sec or low sec, people are going to pop the wreck and destroy that before you get a chance to loot it. Unless you've managed to destroy the enemy fleet before you've destroyed the structure, and then obviously you can claim your prize. What consequences does this have in the game? As CCP are trying to push out on this, there is a lot of consequences of this. Now, as you can see, as you saw per the thumbnail, this is also opening an entire new can of content for griefers in high sec. So people like Marmite Collective, Jita Holding Inc., all those high sec griefers that have nothing better to do with the time than War Deck, Industry Corps, and shoot them going to and from Jita and whatnot. So if you're in an Industry Corp and you have 10 to 15 Athanors down, which is not an uncommon thing in high sec, if a corp lives in a system, you're going to have a bunch of moons. I 100% guarantee you, if a high sec War Deck Corp or Alliance finds you, they are going to War Deck you, because they'll see all those structures, and by the time that War Deck is active, you cannot unanchor all your structures in time. So, and plus, if it's going to be anywhere to 100 mil to War Deck it, unless you're in an Alliance where it's going to be, I think it's 500, correct me if I'm wrong, 500 mil to War Deck an Alliance, but if you're a Corp, I think, depending on the size of it, I think it goes up to 100 mil. They're going to get 700 million ISK per structure you have. So if you have 10 of Athanors, which is a reasonable number, That is 7 billion ISK they're going to make off destroying your structures in HiSec. So that is one hell of a profit, from 100 million to 500 million to get 7 billion back out. So this is a hell of a moneymaker for people in HiSec, for these Griefer Corps and alliances in HiSec. So I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing even some of these Asbels, Titaras, Fortizars. I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see them getting war decked and getting reinforced all over HiSec. I mean, it's going to reduce the amount of structures in HiSec. So if you cannot defend it against, say, a 20, 30, 40 man fleet, I don't unanchor it. I'm not going to lie to you. Unanchor it or join an alliance in HiSec that has protection and whatnot. I think it might force Corps to band together and protect the stuff if they want to keep it. Otherwise, people are going to come along with big dollar signs in their eyes, destroy your structures, take these cores, go and sell them, profit, and then just move on to the next corp/alliance. So those are the prices there. That's what you can expect to get in return, because it's 100% drop, remember. That's not including any fitting, structures, services, or any fuel that you've got in there, because all your assets and everything will go to asset safety. But if you've got a core in there, which by January the 12th, everyone will have a core, you are going to, if you're a small corp, you will get war decked. The only way to do it is go to the arse end of nowhere in HiSec and hide and hope you don't get discovered. So this is kind of, I can understand why CCP have done this, because at the end of the day, they don't like the structure spam that everyone's doing. This is not going to affect people the likes of Test Alliance, Goonswarm, PL, NC, Horde, Fraternity. It's not going to affect them in any way, shape or form, because they can buy all these outright, and they'd probably make whatever they spend on these, they can probably make that back in a month. Easy. So it's not going to affect them in any way, shape or form, and it will not change anything for the big alliances. They will still put an Astra House down, slot a core in it, that's it, done, and don't really care about 600 mil, because to an alliance like that, 600 mil is nothing. So consequences and stakes, yeah, it's going to affect a lot more industry corps and alliances in HiSec than it will actually affect anyone in nullsec. So if you cannot defend it, don't have it. Me and a few guys are already looking at setting up a corp just to go around and start harvesting these cores, because that's what it'll come down to. It'll come down to a very simple case of going out and harvesting them. It won't be a case of having to buy them. It'll just be a going out, war deck corps, take the cores, disappear, done, cash made. Even if you do a couple of them, you're in profit. So that's where I'm at. There's been a similar response on the Patchnotes forums, which again I'll link in here so you can see. There's been 48 replies, 296 views, 336 replies, 1.9k views, and there's been a lot of people liking it and a lot of people not liking it. So it's going to be a case of, as I keep saying, if you can't defend it, it's going to go. Someone's going to come and take it and literally make profit from destroying your stuff, which structures are cheap enough anyway, but it is going to double the upfront cost, because an Astra House is what, 700, 800 mil plus a core, so you're talking 1.6 bill, then fittings nearly 2 bill for an Astra House. So I'd just be careful on this one, guys, if you're looking at anchoring new structures in HiSec. Just obviously it didn't have to be a case of well, no one's really going to war deck me because I've only got a couple moon things, it's not really much to kill. Now there's a reason to. So keep your eyes out on this one, guys. And if there's anything more comes, I will bring it to you. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you have, make sure to hit that subscribe button for me, and also like and share with all your friends in EVE just to get this out there. So thank you very much, guys, and of course I will see you in the next one.